Have you ever stood at the edge of a decision, paralyzed by fear, self-doubt, or emotional overwhelm? In those moments, your mind is no longer your ally. It becomes your battlefield. But what if there was a way to navigate chaos, not by suppressing your emotions, but by mastering them? Not through modern psychology, but by learning from a 17th century samurai whose words still cut through the noise of our distracted world? His name was Miyamoto Musashi, a legendary swordsman, strategist, and philosopher. And his teachings on self-discipline, emotional detachment, and clarity under pressure may hold the key to mental resilience in our modern age of anxiety. Welcome to the Unfolding Journey, the place where timeless wisdom meets modern life. If you're here, it means you're searching for something deeper, tools to become emotionally stronger, mentally resilient, and spiritually grounded. We explore ancient philosophies, personal transformation, and emotional mastery to help you unfold into the person you're meant to become. Today's episode dives into the wisdom of Miyamoto Musashi, a man who turned swordsmanship into philosophy and fear into discipline. Let's begin. Who is Musashi and why does he matter today? Miyamoto Musashi was not just a warrior. He was a master of strategy, a poet, an artist, and a philosopher. Born in 1584 in feudal Japan, Musashi is best known for winning over 60 duels, often with unconventional tactics. But beyond his martial prowess, Musashi left behind a spiritual and psychological blueprint in his most famous work, the Book of Five Rings. This book is not just a manual for swordsmen. It's a guide to mental clarity, emotional control, and mastering oneself in the face of uncertainty. The way Musashi saw it, the external battle is just a mirror of the internal one. And that's where emotional mastery begins. Musashi's words echo through centuries because they address something timeless, the human struggle with fear, ego, and attachment. Whether you're fighting with a katana or facing rejection in a boardroom, the battlefield is still your mind. Embracing detachment without indifference. One of Musashi's core teachings is to become indifferent to where you live. At first glance, this can sound cold or detached. But dig deeper and you'll see that it points to a powerful form of emotional resilience, non-attachment. To Musashi, mastery over emotion does not mean suppression. It means you remain grounded, no matter what storms around you. In practice, this looks like being fully present, but not emotionally enslaved by outcomes. You love, but without clinging. You act, but without ego. You endure, but without resentment. In today's world, we are taught to chase status, approval, perfection. And when we don't get what we crave, our emotions consume us. Musashi flips the script. He teaches us to move through life with purpose, but without emotional dependence on the results. This non-attachment builds mental resilience. You become like water, adaptable, powerful, and calm. The ups and downs no longer control you. You're not unfeeling, you're simply free. Observe, then act, the path to emotional clarity. Musashi wrote, "Perception is strong and sight weak." In strategy, it is important to see distant things as if they were close and to take a distanced view of close things. This is more than military strategy. It's a philosophy of emotional awareness. Musashi teaches us to slow down, to observe before reacting, to see rather than be swept up. This is critical in emotional mastery. When we react emotionally, out of anger, fear, jealousy, we are short-sighted. We're seeing only what's right in front of us. But Musashi teaches that the wise warrior sees beyond the immediate, sees the pattern, the ripple effect, the long-term consequences. In daily life, this could mean stepping back before sending that angry text. It could mean pausing before speaking in a moment of frustration. It could mean recognizing your anxiety not as truth, but as something to witness with curiosity, not judgment. Observation builds clarity, and clarity leads to calm. Emotional mastery doesn't come from controlling your feelings. It comes from understanding them. The power of discipline and repetition. Musashi once said, "You can only fight the way you practice." This principle is central to both martial arts and emotional resilience. Mental strength is not something you summon when life gets hard. It's something you build day by day through discipline. In the Book of Five Rings, Musashi outlines the importance of training not just with the body, but with the mind. He practiced tirelessly, repeating movements thousands of times, refining his awareness until his reactions became second nature. Apply that to your emotional life. If you want to remain calm in a crisis, practice calm in the small moments. If you want to stay grounded when you're rejected or misunderstood, Build a daily habit of self-reflection and mindfulness. Your response under pressure is the result of your emotional training when no one is watching. Discipline is not about control, it's about freedom. When you've disciplined your mind, you don't need to fear your emotions. They come and go, but they don't define you. That's resilience. The ego as the enemy of mastery. Musashi was acutely aware of the dangers of ego. He warned, "Do not let yourself be guided by the feeling of lust or love." And elsewhere, think lightly of yourself and deeply of the world. In a world obsessed with self-image, Musashi's call to dissolve the ego feels radical. But it's the foundation of emotional strength. Ego reacts. Ego protects. Ego panics. The ego says, "They wronged me. I must prove myself. I must win." But Musashi asks us to drop that narrative. True mastery, he says, comes not from dominance but from humility, from seeing the world and yourself clearly. When your sense of self is not tied to your victories, your identity becomes fluid, untouchable. When you let go of being right, you open yourself to understanding that humility is not weakness, it's power. In our personal lives, dropping the ego means apologizing when we're wrong. It means listening even when it hurts. It means facing fear without bravado. Emotional maturity begins where ego ends. Musashi's final lesson, accept death to fully live. One of Musashi's most sobering, yet liberating, teachings is the idea of embracing death. He writes, "The way of the warrior is resolute acceptance of death." To many, this sounds bleak, but it's actually a call to presence, to freedom from fear. When you truly accept that everything is impermanent, your status, your possessions, even your life, you stop clinging. You start living. You act with urgency, but without anxiety. You love without fear of loss. You speak your truth, because you have nothing to prove or protect. This acceptance breeds courage. When death is no longer your enemy, discomfort isn't either. Rejection doesn't break you. Uncertainty doesn't paralyze you. You live not recklessly, but fearlessly. Musashi mastered the art of dying, so that he could master the art of living. And in that lesson lies perhaps the deepest root of emotional mastery, radical acceptance. Bringing Musashi's teachings into your modern life. You may not carry a sword. You may never duel on a battlefield. But make no mistake, you are a warrior. Your battleground is your mind, and the enemies are self-doubt, fear, and reactivity. Musashi's teachings are not distant relics, they are tools. Tools to help you breathe through anxiety, to pause before reacting, to let go of attachment, to stay grounded in chaos, to lead with discipline and live with integrity. Try applying even just one principle. Practice non-attachment by journaling your desires and fears. Cultivate discipline by building a morning routine that trains your mind. Observe your emotions before you act on them. Let go of ego by listening more and defending less. Meditate on impermanence to let go of control. Over time, you'll notice something shift. You'll stop being thrown around by your moods. You'll become someone others can lean on. You'll trust yourself more because you've done the inner work. That's emotional mastery. And Musashi's wisdom, though forged in war, may be exactly what we need in our war with self. If this message spoke to you, if you feel the call to become more resilient, more present, and more at peace, then you are already on the unfolding journey. Thank you for watching today's video on Musashi's timeless teachings. We hope you take these insights and live them one breath, one moment, one choice at a time. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to The Unfolding Journey, your companion in emotional growth, ancient wisdom, and personal transformation. We're building a community of seekers, learners, and resilient souls. Join us as we continue to unfold. Until next time, walk the path with strength and serenity.